steam ahead on this edition of City Span. We'll span Savannah to cover the stories that matter to you the most. Hurricane Irma, the before, the during, and the aftermath. How the city stepped up in our area's second such storm in less than a year. The Arena and Canal District will shape Savannah for decades. But did you know the unique history of Savannah's network of canals? We'll go in depth. Plus,
the systems that are running downtown are actually, numbers are up and they're popular and people are riding them, but we want to take that next step.
The city's new shuttle routes are rolling along. How this is just a piece of the puzzle for many more changes in mobility in the historic district. You want education? How about extrication? The details from Savannah Fire. It's a show for heroes, history, and the guys that need just a little kudos thrown their way. It's your source for news and information in and about the city of Savannah. City Span is on the air. And welcome to City Span. I'm Ken Slatz, ready to take you through 30 minutes of stories important to you. We will start with cleaning up the details after the cleanup of the second major storm to affect Savannah in as many years. Hurricane Irma slowed to a tropical storm before it arrived in the hostess city.
The city reacted in a manner that is second to none compared to what we have been in the past. I know we learned a lot at Matthew.
We learned quickly. We implemented those things. Obviously, there are things that we could do better, but our reality is that for what we were facing, and this was this hurricane heading this way to be a direct hit in Savannah, we mobilized this community very well.
I have all but praise for our city workforce that were out there in the middle of these conditions, our police, our fire, our vac trucks that were out there to keep drainage going, and also a lot of city folks really teamed together and did some great work out there to prevent things from happening, worse things from happening than did.
I think in the end we're just a blessed community and people just grateful to be alive and our city to be minimally affected.
Minimally affected is the key phrase. Hurricane Matthew created nearly 450,000 cubic yards of debris to be removed. With Irma, it's expected to be just 25,000 cubic yards. Now, flooding and storm surge was a different story, like here on River Street, where the storm surge was so high it came up to the cobblestone street of River Street and even into some of the buildings. Now, it was just as dramatic on Savannah's very south side, Coffee Bluff Marina.
I've lived out in that area for 51 years and I've never seen the rivers as high as they were that day. I actually photographed the marina that shows it was an ocean between us and Richmond Hill. On parts of Back Street, we had the river that had actually overflowed the banks, and because of the wind was pushing water in, and we actually saw water come into some houses over there that never before had ever experienced anything like that. The marina had no damage to the docks, no damage to the building.
An old building, familiar to all, was a huge part of the plan, central to the evacuation process.
The Civic Center played a major role in staging that, which is why the Civic Center and the city center is so important because people knew where to come. We had space for cab buses to come from across the community, bringing people here, and then moving them on to school buses and coaches to take them to Augusta and to Douglas.
Those evacuees totaled more than 2,400, each returned to a city that was spared disaster. Now, it's obvious Irma spared us a little bit more than Matthew, especially in the debris removal category. Not to mention this year the city was better prepared from a financial and paperwork standpoint.
The fact that the fear was not there was a big difference between those two storms, the fear of the unknown.
As Chief Financial Officer, David Maxwell holds the responsibility of making sure the city pays and gets paid on a daily basis.
So we kind of know how the process of the federal assistance will work. We know the type of documentation that they're going to be looking for in order to process a reimbursement for expenses that we've incurred.
Expenses which aren't nearly as high this time around. Largest cost of the city was the full evacuation and securing of buildings. With debris removal just a small fraction of what it was last year, the plan is vastly different.
Our current plan is to handle the debris removal with our city staff and our city equipment, except for the very large trees that may have fallen. We'll use a contractor for those to get those off of the right-of-way. but we think we can handle this particular storm in-house and getting that debris cleaned up.
Which equals a whole lot less dollars spent to outside companies. A high cost from Matthew, the city is still trying to settle.
We still have not received all of our federal reimbursements yet. I think most of the work at this point has been concluded with debris, and so we'll be closing that grant out. I don't think that the impact of Irma will be nearly what we saw with Matthew, so it shouldn't tax us as much financially. And hopefully, because the documentation load will be smaller due to the size of the damages, it won't take as long to complete the paperwork and receive those reimbursements.
Again, the reimbursements are from the Federal Emergency Management Agency, paid through the state of Georgia. The city's approved for up to 75% of the costs. The remainder is paid by the city. New exciting information on the Arena Canal District coming up in about 9 minutes on CitySpan. Our Michelle Gavin will go in depth on the history and importance of the canals and the district they lie in. Very interesting information coming up very soon. The city is fully implementing many of the results from the Parking Matters study. Alderman Bill Durrant says it's more like a mobility matters study. Now, it's definitely more than just parking the city is addressing.
What we're going to be doing now is trying to create a system that works a little bit better for a mix of people, both visitors and commuters as well as residents downtown.
The study provided a four-pronged process: street parking, bicycling, garages and lot parking, and shuttles. The latter providing a simple, basic route in the core of Savannah.
North, south, east, west. The north-south is north up Drayton to Bryan Street, then down Whitaker, south to Park Avenue. The east-west route uses Congress Street in one direction, Liberty in the other, with Price and MLK acting as the turnaround spots.
The thing that the shuttle makes possible is you don't need to use those high-demand parking spaces anymore if you're going to be downtown. You can park in an area that's less expensive, a little farther away. You can park even a little bit farther away in a free parking space and just hop on the shuttle. And the way the new shuttle route works is you shouldn't have to walk more than a few blocks to catch the shuttle.
Also well underway is the new parking app. More than 3,000 people have already signed up. It's an easy way to pay without the hassle.
You don't even have to fill the meter because the app we've got now works great. And all you need to know is where your space number is. And if you're somewhere on the other side of town and you realize your meter's running out, all you got to do is just add time.
The biggest indicator that we know it's working, we've actually looked at this time period compared to last. We've written 20% fewer tickets. That app is designed so that you don't get a ticket.
Time for a quick break, but you won't want to turn away. It's our chance to salute our soldiers, past, present, and future. They indeed are heroes, and now they'll have their way. But straight ahead, it's a lesson in history. It's the first neighborhood built strictly for the African Americans south of the Mason-Dixon line. It's on our east side. As we head to break, our mayor, Eddie DeLoach, shares a moment from Irma as he spent time helping out at the gathering area of Savannah's Civic Center right after the storm.
I had a lady yesterday whenever the buses were coming in, and we had a lady coming in. She used to be the secretary of the diocese here. She got off the bus. Now, she'd been through everything she'd been through. You know, she'd go up there and you're spending the night in a place you don't know anything about. Elderly lady, you know, probably in her late 70s or whatever, and a wonderful lady. She comes off the bus, she gets off, she's skipping along over there to me, going out to get on the Chatham Area Transit bus she needed to go get on. She came up to me and said, "I just want to thank you for all that y'all done." Now, that's what you appreciate when people do that, because she had been through a lot. You can imagine, you know, leaving here, going up there, spending a night in a place she's not used to, and dealing with all the inconveniences you can imagine. But she was so thankful for what she had. I think it's an attitude we all need to be able to be sure to keep, is that attitude of appreciation of not only the, you know, the good times and the bad times also. So just be there and be thankful. And she just impressed me because she had such a wonderful smile on her face, and she was so humble and wonderful.
We live in a fast-paced world, so keep up with your local news, information, and happenings around town with the City of Savannah. Updates, tidbits, and breaking news. The City of Savannah on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. We give it to you straight, complemented by a library of videos both on Facebook and YouTube. Informing the public, celebrating milestones, introducing you to the people of our town. The City of Savannah, using social media to be at your service. Welcome back to City Span. Preserving history is of the utmost importance here in Savannah, and the city is reaching out to one neighborhood at a key time. It's Carver Village, just to the west of one of Savannah's largest projects in decades.
As we get ready to work with the city on the Arena project, it was important. It became more and more evidence of how important it was to make sure that the story of the neighborhood was told.
And what better way to tell the story than by the lifelong residents themselves, like Richard Shinhoster.
Carver Village was one of the first African-American subdivisions built for African-Americans, probably in the country. They bought these properties out here. They own these properties out here. And as a result of that, I think they understood a certain amount of economic sustainability.
The beauty of it is that the neighborhood was bought and paid for by the African-American neighborhood.
Reverend Ellis met his school sweetheart in Carver Village, later married and moved there. He hung around in earlier years playing sports with his cousin. His roots are deep.
I played on the baseball team out here, and a few minutes ago, Richard Shinhoster came with pictures of championship teams that came from Springfield Terrace Elementary School. So, you know, that was exciting to know that we were following the footsteps of champions.
It gave us an opportunity to take some pride. We were the champions. Little Carver Village, which was on the outskirts of the mainstream of Savannah, was able to compete and win against those schools that were, those teams that were in the more or less the urban area. And so that brought a lot of pride to us.
Shinhoster is one of 6 kids in his family, all having gone off to college. He stressed that family bonds across the old neighborhood. Along with Reverend Ellis, that's the key message to preserve.
As they develop and build the arena and then the canal district, that the neighborhood become an integral part of that development that is preserved so that visitors can come and visit. Now, one of the things we're doing now is preserving the Springfield Terrace School, which was the first school built in this area for African Americans. We are preserving that school so that it will tell the history of the development of Carver Village and the surrounding neighborhoods.
Carver Village is just to the west of the Springfield Canal, which is the centerpiece of the new Canal District, which will bring entertainment and excitement to the area. And as our Michelle Gavin shows us, it'll reveal more of Savannah's hidden beauty and history.
From a bird's eye view of Savannah's future canal district, you really can see a lot of undeveloped, unused land that has a lot of potential. The vision is to turn the Springfield Canal from an overgrown and underutilized waterway into a beautiful new focal point for the city. These renderings give us a glimpse into the future. Anthony Sissel works for Sotil & Sotil, an urban design planner that is collaborating with the City of Savannah on this project.
A lot of places, when they set out to build a new district, they're really starting from scratch. They're starting with, land that doesn't have the kind of history that we have here on the west side of the historic district.
History that dates back to 1733. The founding of the Georgia colony and General Oglethorpe.
It's not a new place. It's actually just the next chapter in a very, very old part of our city.
That means the idea of using the canal for recreation is not a new idea.
They have been used from everything from shipping to pleasure boating. They used to run dinner barges up and down these canals back in the 1870s and 1880s. But they also serve a very critical infrastructure role for this side of the city.
The Springfield Canal has helped with drainage for more than 250 years, And at one time, the goal was to use the canals to link the Savannah River all the way to the west coast of Florida.
So it was sort of this grand vision of, us being able to move goods from Savannah to the Gulf of Mexico and vice versa.
But they never made it past the Ogeechee River. That's because railroad transportation took over. The Central Georgia Railroad actually bought the canal. They used the upper basin near the Savannah River to load cargo on and off ships, but they neglected most of the canal, which was bad for drainage. So the city bought the canals in 1915. And now, a century later, the city plans to showcase this history.
You look at the canals now, and you see the banks are overgrown, and you see, they don't look the best right now, to be perfectly frank. But the great thing is we have precedents for this in other cities in the U.S.
The city of Indianapolis has a beautiful canal district, as does San Antonio, Texas.
I know it's a little bit hard to imagine it right now, but the great thing is we can look at other places that have done it, and we can see what the potential for it to be really is.
A great new addition to our beautiful city, connecting Savannah's downtown landmark historic district to the west side of town, allowing us to tell more of Savannah's story. The plan is already in motion to develop the new canal district and to build the city's new arena. Right now, the city has contracted with a company to design a new public works facility. Public Works currently occupies this space, and they are also in the process of hiring an arena project manager. For CitySpan, I'm Michelle Gavin.
And thank you, Michelle. There's a new face at the Small Business Assistance Corporation. Leandra Michael introduces us to Cherie Darian, a Low Country native and veteran of the banking industry. Cherie is dedicated to working with City of Savannah residents wanting to start a new business within the city. The details in this Small Business Spotlight.
This month, we're back at the Small Business Assistance Corporation, and we're meeting with Community Development Loan Officer Cherie Darian. Her focus is the City of Savannah, and as we've talked about before, SBAC and the City of Savannah have a long-standing relationship. Let's go inside and meet Cherie.
We have gobs of money that we need to lend to the people here in Savannah to make their dreams come true, but also impact economic development right here in the City of Savannah. We actually lend local, federal, and state dollars, and so some of that is City of Savannah money that we lend back to the residents of this area. My particular audience or target audience is those that are in the beginning stages, true startups, but those are also that's located within the heart of Savannah, within the City of Savannah. Those are the business owners I'm trying to do. And also, and I must say this, our minority community, we need them to apply. We really need them to apply. That is, of course, our women-owned business, our Hispanic, Latino, those are African-American businesses as well as veterans. All of those fit under that umbrella, but that's my focus. What I would say to anyone that's considering starting a business is, number one, you don't know what you don't know, but you don't have to do things harder. We're here, we have the resources and the assistance, the technical assistance to help you, not just on the front end before you get the business started, but also on the back end as well, because we're all about sustainability. Now granted, we loan money to people that we want to pay us back. And so with that being said, they need support, and we're here standing by to do that. So again, the process, as you were asking earlier, is a standard basic loan application that needs to be completed. We also need the financial statements, documentation to support it. Now granted, if it's a true startup, they need a business plan. Many times when folks come to us for a loan, they're not ready. And so the business plan, understanding what it is to even run a business is important. SBAC is the best kept secret in Savannah, but we're changing that. And I'm coming 100% to let them know that we're really here for them, and whatever ideas of the difficulty in getting a loan that may have been out there, the perception before, we're going to break that up and clarify, but also fill in the gap. So I'm here to kind of connect the dots, and very passionate about it. I actually love it.
So if you need money for your small business, come visit the Small Business Resource Center at 111 East Liberty Street, or you can check them out online, sbacsav.com. I'm Leandra Michael, and this is your Small Business Spotlight.
thank you very much, Leandria, and welcome aboard, Cherie. Time for another break on City Span. We'll show you some of the city's unsung heroes, beautifying our city, one blade of grass at a time. Plus a salute to the men and women in uniform, past, present, and future. They are our heroes. Now they have their own way. And lessons learned on the Savannah State campus. Ever been to an extrication? Sounds painful. We will take you there. As we head to break, Alderman Van Johnson spent some quality time helping out at the evacuation hub at the Civic Center before and after Irma. And he made a new friend. Listen in.
On Tuesday, as people were coming back, there was a little girl. She might have been about 4 or 5 years old. And I met her going forward, and I told her, you're going to be fine and everything. Gave her snacks and cookies and stuff. And when she came back, come to find out, her and her mom and her little brother were homeless. And so we were trying to identify a place for them to go, because the fact was they were homeless when they left. When they came back, they had no place to stay. And so this little girl walked holding my hand for most of the day. She told me, told everybody I was her best friend. And to me, that just really touched my heart, because here it was in the midst of everything that was going on, her mom not knowing where she was going to stay that night or how they were going to eat. And yet this little girl wants to go around and just make friends and speak to everybody and hug everybody. And I mean, I just think, to me, that's really what it's about. Our community has to continue to be better and get better as it relates to those that are the least, the last, the lost, those who don't have the things that we all take for granted.
Welcome back to our third block of City Span. Did you know that you can save money while helping save the environment? With more information on everything from turning off the lights to bringing your own coffee, Nick Deffley of the City of Savannah's Sustainability Office joins Richard Reed with more on saving green while going green.
There are many ways to save money, from budgeting your income to couponing to reducing unnecessary spending. Some saving strategies have the added effect of also helping our environment. Here to talk about more ideas to save money while saving the environment is the Sustainability Director from the City of Savannah, Nick Deffley. Nick, what are some general rules to save money through sustainability at home?
Good question. There are a lot of different opportunities. One is just very simple. We hear it all the time, but turn off the lights when you leave a room or when you leave the house. Also, wash your clothes in cold water. Most of them don't need steaming hot water all the time. And make sure your dishwasher is full and that you're washing with full loads. Replace your incandescent light bulbs with either compact fluorescent, or even better yet, go towards LED bulbs, which are even more efficient. The other thing that is very fundamental that a lot of people miss is just basic weatherization and sealing of your home. Those are also really low cost to no cost opportunities to gain energy efficiency. That can be through caulking around windows, weather stripping around doors. Look at your attic access if you have that, and make sure that it's well insulated and well sealed. And then right along with that, if you want to get a little more money up front but will pay for itself quite quickly, is just better insulation in your home.
How can people save money on their utility bills?
You can also look at your water use. You can do a lot of things to just reduce your water bills by reducing the time of your showers from, we all love those hot, steamy hot 30-minute showers, but try about 5 minutes, or even if that's too short, try 10 minutes first and just keep working your way down. That will save you money. And low flow water fixtures, low flow toilets. If you've got an old toilet, the city actually has a program that allows you, if you're a city water customer, you can actually get a voucher for a more efficient toilet that uses a lot less water. So,
Nick, what are some benefits and ideas you have about reducing waste?
The more you can reuse items like your cups, recycling your paper or reusing the back side of a printed piece of paper, so for your notes or whatever else. Those are all good ways to just save natural resources, save money. It might not be directly realized to you, but you feel good because you're also protecting the natural environment, you're protecting just the resources of your home and business too.
What are some ideas about growing your own garden?
If you want to garden and you would love to have your own fresh produce, but you don't have a yard, maybe you live in an apartment complex or something like that, the City of Savannah has a community garden program, and we have a number of gardens that are out there that have raised beds that all sorts of community residents can join in and participate in and help their community grow local food that's very healthy for you.
Are there other ways someone can save on transportation?
You know, my biggest encouragement there would be to walk or ride your bike. Obviously it gets a little hot and humid in the summertime, but that's when you can hop on CAT and use the bus routes.
Any other resources you could share with us?
Yeah, well, a great place to start is just visiting our website. It's www.savannahga.gov/sustainability.
Making smart decisions about your utilities, appliances, and food is healthy, not only for the environment, but also for your wallet. Until next time, I'm Richard Reeve, and you can bank on this.
Thanks a lot, Nick and Richard. In Savannah, the basic task of maintenance of public right-of-ways, ditches, and parks is kind of streamlined now. For many years, the process fell within several different departments. That's changed, and there's a noticeable difference. Roadways are looking sharper, and crews of between 6 and 10 workers are making Savannah more beautiful. There are 710 miles of right-of-ways to take care of. 18 staff members and just about the same number of temp workers are tackling the task, 1 mile at a time.
We're able to complete an area at one time. We don't have to go through this group going through and cutting the right of way, this group coming through and trimming everything, this group coming through taking care of the ditches. We're able to do it all as we move in one motion. So when we leave an area, it's a completed area. Is instead of a 6 or 8 week rotation to come through and do part of a job, we're trying to complete it in a 4-week process of doing an entire job.
Despite the tropical storm and waves of rain, street maintenance is just about back on track with the 4-week goal. Savannah Fire and Emergency Services spends countless hours educating the public, from fire station tours, nursing home and retirement community visits, to school inspections, and so much more. In fact, just before Savannah State's homecoming, they paid a visit to show firsthand the dangers of drunk driving.
All right, so at this point we'd get on scene and I would say we've got a 1-vehicle car accident. Truck 5 is establishing command. We're in the investigative mode. So what we do is we place the cribbing to keep the car from going anywhere. If EMS hasn't arrived yet, we want to try to get the patient out as quick as possible. If they can absorb the fact that this could happen to them, which is the biggest part to reach, then yes. Then they can say, well, if I'm in a car accident, this is what I have to entail and I have to go through just for a night of drinking and driving. The worse the accident, the more we have to do. Hydraulic tools have the ability to move with the metal. So we don't want the blade cutting the patient or the tool moving in on the patient and causing any further damage. It gives you an idea of what we have to go through to get you out though, so it's better to call a cab or one of these other companies like Lyft to come get you for a couple of bucks versus risking getting a DUI or even getting in an accident. I think with every kid it's different. Some you reach quicker, some it takes a little longer. Sometimes it takes a tragic incident of a friend or a family member to open their eyes. The Jaws of Life were one of the first products to ever really come out on the market. That is a particular brand. We used Hearst Tools, which is just another company that came out with their own type. So you can see while we were talking that they finished removing the roof.
Can we get them a round of applause, please?
This is only one of many avenues Savannah Fire uses to educate. Be sure to check out all the services. The City of Savannah will be sending out a brochure with all that info in the coming months. A small edition on Savannah's South Side with a lot of meaning. City leaders, local military representatives, and citizens gathered on the southwest corner of the Savannah Mall, just across the gate of Hunter Army Airfield, to help celebrate the renaming of a portion of Rio Road to Heroes Way. It's the 1/2 mile strip from Abercorn Street to Mohawk Street. Council approved the renaming just a day before the event was held, a major tribute to the veterans that have used or will use the military entrance at Hunter.
Much of this military is woven into the fabric that makes our community great and makes us what we are in Savannah.
And I see what we're looking at today as a small piece that's just representative of what we owe veterans past, present, and future, and something that will stand throughout the years as new soldiers come in and see this, and something that solidifies the relationship between the city and Hunter Army Airfield and all the veterans in the area.
What a wonderful ceremony out there on Savannah's South Side, and congratulations to all involved in Heroes Way. That will wrap up another edition of City Span. Remember, for the latest news and information in and about the City of Savannah, keep it tuned to SGTV. Visit our website, savannahga.gov, and social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Just search City of Savannah. So for all of us here at City Span, thanks for watching, and thanks for making Savannah your home.